right, what you see here is the AVX550. And you can see it's running through a measurement routine right now where it's actually using 3 different sensors in combination. So right now it's using a touch probe, but it's also using a zoom lens and a large field of view 0.14x telecentric lens. So you can see the build of this is a little bit different than our other machines. Instead of an XY stage stack, we actually have a Y stage by itself where you fixture your parts, and then an XZ gantry. This really allows us to modularize the machine, and it also helps with the the stability of the parts on the stage there. So we are getting the platform from our sister company, TrueStone. They make really good metrology platforms for a variety of folks, and we're really happy working with them as well here. So the difference in the specs here from what you may be used to on a similar machine such as a 450 is that the speed of the machine is quite a bit quicker. It's about 100 millimeters a second, up from right around 60 millimeters a second. So not quite twice as fast, but pretty close to twice as fast. And the travel is also quite a bit greater than the other machines as well. It's 550 millimeters in X, so that's 22 inches, 400 millimeters in Y, that's 16 inches, and 250 millimeters in Z, which is 10 inches, which is the most I think we've offered on any machine for a Z axis. So that gives you a measurement volume that's quite a bit greater than anything else we've offered. And if you actually use both lenses in combination, you can get a little bit more than that. So a little bit more than 650 millimeters even, if you're able to use both lenses in the same program. But the travel itself is limited to 550 millimeters. So one thing that we really wanted to focus on here was the lighting. So each optical axis has its own set of lighting that gets pulled up correctly in the UI, depending on which lens is selected. In order to change the lenses, it's as simple as going to the mags, which you may be familiar with in the zoom lens configurations, and you just select the 0.14 instead of one of the zoom mags, and it indexes to the other camera and shows it automatically, and the lights switch over correctly. All that's kept in the programming, so you can change light levels on either one of them. You can do touch probe changes. If you have a probe rack, you can do all that stuff. And we really think that the versatility of the system is what's going to lend itself well to our customers' needs. But yes, another thing that's really important to us is the collimated backlight. So in a lot of these gantry style systems, you don't have a backlight that's fully collimated. You have kind of what we call a pad light. The advantage of a fully collimated backlight is that you can do round measurements such as shafts, threads, gauge pins, that kind of stuff much better across a wider range of diameters. So those are all extremely accurate in those types of measurements. So the weight capacity of the stage is double that of the AV450, so it's about 50 pounds, up from 25. We may eventually be able to spec it a little higher than that, but we haven't taken it to breaking point yet since it's one of our first machines. So stay tuned on that. But initially, we're very convinced that it's well more than 50 pounds. Yeah, so let me get into the modularity and the options of the machine here. So if we go to my screen here on the computer, I have pulled up a product matrix. And in this matrix, you'll see on the left-hand side a variety of different options here. And as you go across the right side, it'll show you which other options you can have in combination. So what we have here is a 0.14x lens on the right-hand side and a 12x lens on the left. We think this is a really sweet spot for a 2-lens configuration because you have a very big field of view on one and very good zooming capabilities on the other, which should cover a very wide range of products. As we go down here, you'll see you can also have a bayonet. So if you're familiar with the interchangeable bayonets in our AVRs and HDVs, you can have one of those in combination with a dedicated fixed lens. And yeah, you can basically almost any of these combinations are possible with the few exceptions of the 4th axis here, the step dome and the dark field, which may or may not be able to be used in combination with another lens depending on the size of it. So if you have questions there, type them in the chat and we can get with you about that. As mentioned before, this machine definitely has touch probing capabilities. also has an option of a probe rack and also a rotary axis. So we're happy to offer the APT 200 and the APT 120, which are both direct drive rotaries that are very, very accurate. So 30 arc second accuracy. And yeah, so basically this matrix here should help everyone be able to configure these and order them to the customer's needs. One other thing I'll talk about is just the shipping of the machine. Although it's a big, heavy machine, it's about 1,400 pounds, it only requires a forklift and a pallet jack to get it to where it needs to go. That's how we've done it here, and it's been very simple to do. You can actually pick it up from any side and get it to where it needs to go with 2 people. So no problem there.